Have you ever just, stopped and looked around at the plants? I mean, really looked. From a tiny little weed forcing its way through a crack in the sidewalk to a huge ancient tree. The sheer variety is just mind-boggling. But here's the crazy part. What if I told you that all of that incredible diversity is built from just a handful of the same simple parts? That there's a hidden blueprint, an architectural plan that connects pretty much every flowering plant on the planet?
Yeah, and the legendary botanist Catherine Essiu, she absolutely nailed this feeling. She's basically saying that even after dedicating your whole life to studying plants, their basic structure is still a source of complete and utter wonder. And that's exactly what we're going to dive into today. That amazing world of design that's hiding in plain sight.
So that's our mission for the next few minutes. We're going to peel back the layers and see how every single flowering plant, no matter how different it seems, is put together from the same 5 basic building blocks. Roots, stems, leaves, flowers, and fruits. It's like nature's universal Lego set.
All right, you ready? Let's start our tour. And it only makes sense to start just like a plant does, from the ground up.
First up, the root system. This is the part we never really see, right? It's the unseen, hard-working foundation of the whole operation, locking the plant in place and pulling in all the good stuff from the soil.
And right away, you see there's not just one way to do it. You've got plants like carrots or mustard that grow this one main, dominant taproot that dives deep, searching for water. But then you've got others, like grasses, that create this dense web of fibrous roots near the surface. It's an amazing strategy for soaking up rainwater and, bonus, it holds the soil together. 2 totally different solutions for survival.
And they do so much more than just drink. I mean, sure, they absorb water and minerals, but they're also the plant's anchor, holding it steady against wind and rain. They're its pantry, storing up food, and get this, they're even a little chemical factory, cooking up growth hormones that manage the entire plant's development. Now, if you zoom way in on the very tip of a single root, it's like a tiny, brilliant factory. Out front, you've got the protector, a tough little root cap that literally bulldozes its way through the soil. Right behind that is the growth engine, a zone of cells that are dividing like crazy, pushing the root deeper. And then, a little further back, you've got the absorption surface, where thousands of tiny root hairs sprout, creating this massive surface area to soak up everything the plant needs. It's so efficient.
Okay, let's head above ground. All those resources the roots are collecting have to get to the rest of the plant, right? Well, they travel up the stem, which you can basically think of as the plant's superhighway. So the stem's main gig is to act like a scaffold, lifting the leaves up toward the sunlight. Its whole structure is built on this simple pattern of nodes. Those are the little joints where leaves pop out, and internodes, which are just the straight sections in between. That's it. That simple node-internode pattern is the framework for everything that happens above ground.
And sprouting from those nodes are the real powerhouses of the plant, the leaves. These are nature's solar panels, the place where the absolute magic of photosynthesis happens, turning pure sunlight into food.
And again, we see this awesome variation on a single theme. A simple leaf is just one single blade. But a compound leaf, it's divided up so much that it looks like a bunch of separate little leaves, or leaflets. So next time you see a neem tree, what looks like a branch with tons of tiny leaves, that's actually one single leaf made up of dozens of little leaflets. Kind of blows your mind, right? Now, you might think leaves just grow wherever, but there is absolutely nothing random about it. Plants have a big problem to solve. How do you arrange all your solar panels so they don't block each other's light? The solution has a fancy name, phyllotaxy, but it's really just the plant's genius strategy for giving every single leaf its moment in the sun.
And plants have basically got 3 main game plans. The alternate pattern is like a spiral staircase, with 1 leaf at each step. Opposite is just what it sounds like. 2 leaves pop out at each level directly across from each other. And then there's world, which is a starburst of 3 or more leaves all coming from the same spot. Each one is a different geometric solution to the same problem, capturing light.
Okay, so all this, the roots digging deep, the stem reaching high, the leaves making food, it's all been building towards one thing, the grand finale of the plant's life, making more plants. And that, of course, happens through the flower, the fruit, and the seed. And here is another mind-blowing fact for you. A flower isn't some totally separate thing. It's actually a super-modified shoot. The leaves have just evolved over millions of years into these highly specialized parts for reproduction. And these parts are organized in 4 perfect concentric circles, or as botanists call them, whorls.
So let's take a tour from the outside in.
First, you've got the calyx, which are the little green sepals that protected the flower when it was just a bud. Then you've got the corolla. Those are the petals, the big, flashy advertisement for pollinators. Moving inward, you find the androecium, the male parts. And right at the very heart of the flower is the gynoecium, the female parts. Now here's a detail that might seem tiny, but is a huge deal to scientists. Where exactly is the ovary? Is it sitting up on top of everything else, what they call superior, or is it tucked down below all the other parts, making it inferior? This one little detail is like a genetic fingerprint that helps botanists figure out a plant's entire family tree. It's a massive clue.
Let's zoom in one last time, right inside that ovary. How the ovules, which remember are the future seeds, are arranged is called plastation. You can think of it like the internal architecture that determines how the baby seeds are going to be arranged and fed.
And the patterns here are just incredible. In a pea pod, they're all lined up neatly on one edge. Slice a tomato and you'll see them radiating out from the center. In a sunflower, there's just one single ovule attached right at the bottom. It's a whole world of different design solutions for packaging the next generation. So after pollination happens, this whole amazing structure transforms. The ovary starts to swell up and becomes the fruit, and those tiny ovules inside mature into seeds. And just like that, the cycle is complete, ready to start all over again.
So, now we know all the parts. But how do scientists actually talk about all this? How do they describe a flower's super complex structure without writing a whole book? Well, they developed a kind of secret code, a botanical shorthand. Believe it or not, all of that incredible architecture we just talked about, the number of petals, the position of the ovary, whether parts are fused together, all of it can be packed into a single elegant line of code. It's called a floral formula. And once you see it, the basic code is actually pretty simple. K stands for calyx, the sepals, C is for corolla, the petals, A is for the male parts, and G is for the female parts. Then you just use numbers to say how many of each there are. It is an incredibly powerful and precise way to write down the entire blueprint of a flower.
So there you have it. Beneath all that wild, beautiful, seemingly endless variety of plants, there is a common architectural plan, a shared blueprint, which I guess leaves us with one big question. Now that you know how to look for these patterns, what other incredible hidden architectures are you going to start noticing in the world all around you?
Subscribe and join our community of science lovers.